Hey everyone, Melissa here and I'm back again. So I have my first layout today with the gorgeous December 2020 hip kit. It features the exclusive Keeping Cozy collection by Kim and Kimberly, and the entire kit is exclusive. I got all of the kits as always because I just love all the things. And my assignment today is to be inspired by the mood board, and the additional assignment is to use as many of the die cuts as possible. So somewhere here in my pile of beautiful things, over here, I went through these die cuts, the cardstock die cuts. These ones come in the main kit, and this collection is very winter and New Year's kind of celebration themed. It's also got a lot of staying home sort of icons because that's where most of the world is still at with everything happening with COVID. Excuse me. So what I did was I've decided to scrap my son, and I happen to be in the photo as well. This is a photo I took of the two of us after we had watched our neighbour's fireworks. We came back in and I snapped a quick selfie of the two of us. It's not a great photo. My husband is in a band and he had a gig on New Year's Eve, so he was out doing that. Just as a side note, here in New Zealand, I think we have no COVID cases in the community. We only have them in managed isolation. So I am very aware that we are super blessed here to be almost living a normal life. We're still at alert level 1, but we have no tourists coming in, and yeah, otherwise things are almost back to normal. It's affected jobs and things like that, but aside from other parts in the world where you're all still staying home, we definitely consider ourselves to be very blessed. So yeah, all that to say that I took a selfie. It was just me and my two oldest kids, and we had a fun time, but I'll talk about that as I make the layout. So that's the photo. It's not the greatest photo, but it's worthy of being in the scrapbook. And so then I went through this cardstock die cut kit and pulled out everything I thought that could work for New Year's at home. Obviously there's no snow, it's meant to be summer here. It's been cold though, and it's been raining, so I wanted to just pull elements that would work for home and summer and New Year's. So this is what I've got so far. I probably won't use, if I were to use this one, it would create mass havoc and arguments in my children. So we probably won't use that one, but anyway, it could be used. So I just wanted to show you what I had. And then there are also these floral die cuts. I think they come in the embellishment pack. Not sure how flowery I'll go with this one with him in it. This will go into the family album anyway, so maybe I will. We'll see how we go, but because I'm featuring die cuts, I thought I'd better pull them as well. And then I have other bits and pieces because I can't just create with only that. I have these puffy stickers, and I quite like the word vibes or happy. We'll see how we go. I don't know what I'm going to use yet. I've got the enamel dots and the beautiful colours, the journaling bits, because I just absolutely adore them. The puffy stickers, I think they'll work really well with the New Year's theme. These word puffy phrase stickers, sure I can find some things from there to make work. I've got the acetate and foil die cuts, I think because I won't use any of the snowflakes, but there are definitely New Year's type pieces in there. And then of course the chipboard, because chipboard I think is my favourite thing about hip kit embellishments. So Happy New Year, fireworks, 2021, celebrate. These are just absolutely stunning, aren't they? I love these washi tape strips. Probably more likely to use these ones than these ones. And then I have the beautiful metallic puffy alpha stickers. And I almost forgot, but I think I should use some of these as well because that one just screams New Year's to me. So that's my intention. What I am inspired by on the mood board is the hand holding the heart of snow, and also the laces on the boots. So I've got an idea and I'm going to see if it works, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, I just realised that I forgot to share the paper that I'm going to be using. So I'm planning on using a white cardstock background. And then these papers I have pulled because I think they're going to work well with either the theme or my photo. So this beautiful geometric is from Street View. I think I'm liking all the B-sides for this particular layout. This is called Perfect Plaid, but I'm loving that. And then this beautiful pattern, actually no, I like this side. So this is called Cozy Toes, and that is the A side. So not sure, I may pull some other things from the kit, but that's my intention at the moment. So let's see what happens. Okay, so the first thing I did was get a scrap piece of paper, and this is how I cut a perfect heart without using a die cut machine. I fold it in half, and then I draw the heart, and then I cut it. And this enables me to create a perfect heart. And when I say perfect, I mean as perfect as I'm going to get cutting by hand. So this is a really handy technique, no matter what sized heart you want to make. You could just draw it by hand as well, which I think would be lovely. But because I'm doing string art with this one, I wanted to make sure that I had it even. And I can't remember if I said at the beginning of the video, but I was inspired by the heart that is made of snow, and there's a pair of hands holding that heart, and I was also inspired by the laces on the boot, so I thought I would combine the two and make a string art heart. So here I'm wanting to cut this quite perfectly. I don't want to overcut. I'm going to turn this over so it doesn't matter so much about the lines. At this point I hadn't realised I was going to do that, so I did erase the pencil marks. And now I'm using this little triangular ruler, and all I'm doing is just marking off with some washi tape, I don't know, a few millimeters, and probably 1/4 of an inch actually. And I'm just going around with my pencil and marking it off, and then I'm roughly sketching a line that is even. It's like an offset of the heart really is what I'm doing. And then I'm going to pierce the holes for the where the string will go. So I probably I should have cut this bit out, but I suppose it's interesting for you guys. Hopefully it's interesting. So yeah, I think the first 12 minutes or so of this video is me making the string art. So then I'm using this Amy Tangerine matte, and I had lost my paper piercer. I think the magpie Ava of the family had taken it, and then in a sec I'll look down on my cart and realise that it's there, so maybe she put it back. But it's definitely a lot easier using a paper piercer. You could also use a drawing pin, and I just use those lines of the grid to be able to pierce the holes. So once I'd done that, I then turned it around to the side that I wanted, and I pierced. I pushed them back the other way, so slightly push that piercing tool through. So now I am coming to the string art part. Now, when you do this, you're going to want to try really hard for the string art not to warp your page. So you'll want to put the paper back down on the mat or on your table all the time, just to make sure you're not pulling the thread too tight. I'm just using DMC thread. I've gone with blue, and I'm trying to match the colours in the collection, obviously, and then I'm going with white because I don't want to overpower the page. The string art ends up being quite dominant anyway, and I do want it to be dominant, but I also want the photo and the embellishment to shine. So if this was maybe a girly layout, I might have put pink, like a pale pink in there as well, but it's not. It's got Sam in it, and this will go into our family album, or maybe even his album, I'm not sure yet, but I didn't want to make it overly girly. So here it is with all of the blue, and now I'm coming in with the white, and as you can see, I tie a knot when I start my thread, and then when I get to the end, I use tape, double-sided tape to hold it down. What I was going to say was, as you get to the end, you'll want to think about where you're ending, because you want to end going into the other side, like there, into the other side of the page, instead of ending up like that where you come up, because you want to secure that thread on the other side. So it looks like a bit of a hot mess in the end on the reverse side of it, but
you'll never know. When you see what I do as I progress my page, like I say, you'd never know it looked like that. And it doesn't matter anyway how it looks at the back. So it's like a cross stitch, really. It doesn't always look that great at the back. The front is more important. Now I wanted to add some silver because this kit has elements of silver, and I've got this really cheap thread from Spotlight, which is like a Australia New Zealand craft store, and I bought this big pack of, I don't know, 40 or 50 machine threads, and it had metallic gold and silver, and it's thin, but it's also uneven thin, and so I was really nervous making this, and I just had to be slow and patient and intentional about where my threads went, and I didn't want to have them too long at the beginning because I thought I was going to rip them, and I doubled them over just to make sure you could see it. So it's quite subtle there, as you can see. And then I've got this paper, and don't panic because I have the paper add-on, so I've got more of that paper. I definitely want to make a layout with that side of the paper, but what I'm wanting is the beautiful blue sort of snowflake pattern to be a border for my page. So I'm gutting my paper because I know that I'm going to use that other sheet that I have. I'm going to use that side for a layout, but I love the plaid on the background. I did think about putting the plaid behind the string or the embroidery thread, but it would have been too much, and so right now I could have cut that out as well. I'm sorry, but I just went to get a piece of cardstock from my stash. And the piece of cardstock that I've gone with is just an American Crafts one from my stash, and it doesn't match the colour of the cardstock I'm using here, which is a little bit more creamy, but that I actually like that, and I did that intentionally. So you can kind of see what I mean there. So I used double-sided tape, glued it down or heat it down, and then trimmed it out. And I am just distressing the edges here of this cardstock, and then I'm adding more double-sided tape. I don't think I used any liquid adhesive for this because I'm then going to take it to my sewing machine and stitch around the edge, which you can see there. So it's warped, and in my photo of my layout, my styled photo, you can't tell how warped it is, but it is quite warped. But there's nothing I can do about it because the string is pulling the paper. But it doesn't matter. I'm so happy with it, and I think the 2 layers of paper has helped, or 3 layers really, has helped to stretch it out a bit. So just adding a couple of photo mats here, the plaid, which I love, and then that yellow geometric pattern, because I didn't want this to be too blue because my embellishments are not all blue. I'll be adding some red and yellow, and I thought that sort of yellow colour definitely helped pull in some of the embellishments. So heaps of embellishments, heaps more than I needed. Obviously my assignment is to focus on the die cuts, and like I said earlier, I've pulled all the ones that I thought would work. I'm putting some craft foam behind my photo just to pop it up. I did think about lifting the heart as well, but in the end I decided no, I've just got to glue it flat and just be happy that it's all secure. Plus it adds enough texture. So here I'm just going through and trying to work out where I'm going to make my clusters and which elements I want to include. I'm just having a sip of coffee because this is a really long video, and it's I should have said at the beginning to buckle in, get yourself a drink, get a cup of tea or coffee, because it is quite a long one for me, and I didn't want to cut too much out of this, and I did want to show how I made the heart entirely. Ava's come to say hello again. Okay, so Ava just needed something. Yeah, so back to the layout. I got these pieces down, and then I got out these floral die cut pieces. I think about adding these sort of geometric snowflake patterns, and they do look cute. But then I decided no, I'm going to add florals because I'm in the layout, and it's summer here in New Zealand, so I don't really want to add snowflakes or anything wintry. And yeah, I decided that I love that Celebrate 2021, and this ends up being my title. I did think about using the silver thickers, but I didn't really know where to put them, and as I get going through this you'll see what I mean. I did not want to put them along the edge of the heart, which is something I probably would have done. I just really wanted that heart to be quite, I don't know if clean is the right word, but I just wanted it to look how it is on the edges. That is a puffy sticker, and it said this made me smile, and it did. because he is not a child that wants to be in many photos anymore. And this is actually probably only the second hip kit layout I've made with him in it. And I don't know, those of you with teenagers, you probably find that, and even with my December daily, I must say, he's not in that many photos at all. It's more the girls, and if anything, it's more the younger girls. So it does get more difficult as your kids get older to get photos of them. But we had gone outside, watched our neighbours' fireworks from our house. They were across the road. They had really good fireworks. And then we came back in, and my other daughter, oldest daughter, had gone to a room or something. And I just quickly snapped a selfie of Sam and I. And I love it because he was just so happy to be staying up late, as was my daughter. And it was nice because normally when my husband has a gig, they would be in bed, but they're old enough now to stay up. Okay, I'm sorry, I was interrupted again. Ava came in again. It's just like I said in my last video, it is holidays here. I think we've still got less than a month to go now, or about a month, so it's just the way it is. So, what was I saying about Sam? Yeah, it was really nice to have a photo with him, and also really good to scrap him, even though I'm in the photo too. So these New Year's themed embellishments were perfect. These die cuts, as was the home, 2 little houses, because we do live in a little suburb, and it's urban where we live, but you can see the mountains. So yeah, just popping a lot of this up on dimensional adhesive as always. I also added, I forgot to say, 4 of those clear stickers. I love that they're adhesive stickers instead of just vellum or acetate that you have to stick yourself. And so they're fireworks, and I love how they capture the theme of New Year's Eve. And then adding some florals because I really felt like I needed a lot more embellishment, and because my assignment was to focus on the die cuts, I really, really wanted to do that. So here, just adding my journaling, basically saying what I said, quick selfie, watch neighbours' fireworks, and how I love staying out with him and his sister. The other 2 little girls were in bed. And then I think when I started my journaling, my favourite pen ran out of ink, and I couldn't find the other one, but I found another pen and it worked fine. I did think about putting that moment with you, or whatever it was, over there on top of the sweet home, but then I thought, no, it is going to take away from the Celebrate 2021, which I wanted to be my title. So just taking a few more florals, just adding to my clusters. Sometimes I'm having to double up on those adhesive foam dots just to give more dimension above the string. And then I thought about another cluster up there, but I think it would have been a bit much. It would have taken away from the 3 clusters that I have. So I added a heart over there just to balance the heart on the photo. And then my final touch was to add some of these puffy stars, and then off camera I added another heart, a chipboard heart in the centre, like my central cluster. So that's my layout. Do make sure you head on over to the Hip Kit Facebook group, and you can find the details on how to play along with this challenge. And if you're interested in subscribing, please just follow the link below in the description box. Thank you so much for watching.